The most famous woman in all of South Texas lives on a small plot of land southeast of downtown Brownsville, and her name is Pamela Taylor. She's been interviewed by most major newspapers worldwide, as well as many cable news operations, and it all started with her little sign. You see, Pamela and her husband couldn't get any assistance from local, state, or even national representatives when the wall was built between her property and the rest of America. This is her story in her own words.
I can go back to 1946. Life was so different. And we had what was called the Bracero program. And people have always come across the river. And in the morning, my husband and I were just building our home then. They would come, build a fire, make tortillas, and make me my breakfast in the morning. But life is not like that anymore. As soon as you see people coming across, you kind of think, who are they? What are they going to do? And seeing as I'm outside of that fence, it's not protecting me at all. I am what is on the Mexican side. So basically, it doesn't do me any good. And due to the fact that my home, I have 2 acres of land, and my little piece of land is used as a funnel for people coming across, because the river is only a block and a half behind my house. And they use it as a funnel to go through the gaps in the fence that are in front of my home. I do feed illegals that come across. And in the last few months, or maybe the year, they will say, I need help. And I will call the Border Patrol because they want me to call the Border Patrol. And I will feed them, and I put water out every night so that there will be water for anybody that wants water during our really, really hot weather. And I have felt I have to take precautions because at one time, I never locked my doors. My house is completely glass all the way around. I never locked my doors. And I have a ceramic studio. And I used to work in there until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then come in and start supper. And as I came in, I smelled aftershave lotion. And I actually thought my son-in-law was home. But no, an illegal had come into my house. He had gone into my bathroom. He had shaved, he had cleaned up, and he was sitting in that rocking chair watching the Border Patrol go by. So that was my first encounter with having somebody come into my house unauthorized. I tell people I have 2 mirrors on my wall there, and it's not because I'm vain or anything. But if I'm coming in from the other end of my house, I can look in those mirrors and make sure that there's nobody sitting in that chair there. So we have to take precautions. And a lot of people do not realize this, and they do not know about the border wall. People want the border wall, but I think it is a waste of money for the simple reason that wall was a fence, whatever you want to call it, was put up in 2007. How did the millions and millions of illegals get into the United States if that wall is doing the job? We have so many ways that we could be using that money. We could use them, number one, for veterans, because war is a different war from now on. The kids go into college, the tuition is so high that they cannot afford it. Just bring the tuitions down, use some of that money, but use it wisely. And to me, the wall is there, it didn't work, why do another one? I have a very good rapport with the Border Patrol here. And there's got to be hundreds of people that want to join the Border Patrol. But it seems to me like they don't delegate money for the Border Patrol to hire more people. And I believe it was cut not too long ago. I'm not too sure. But if we had more what you refer to as boots on the ground, I think it would do the same job. And it would be more humane than having a fence like that. Because in the beginning, it's what, 20 feet high at this time? And they say, well, build a 21-foot ladder. And way back there, when Janet Nepitaliano was Homeland Security, she came down to McAllen and she said, she banged her fist together and she said, I want everybody to know that the Rio Grande Valley is one of the safest places in the United States of America. But prior to this, she had been on the Alan King show, and he asked her, tell me about this fence, this wall. Is it going to work? And she said, no. They will go under, over, and through. So, where do we stand? And there is no way that Donald Trump could build a brick wall because of the sandy soil along the river here. And the river is not just one boom river, it just curves so many ways that it's unbelievable. So it doesn't seem feasible. Talking about the safety of people that live in this little area right here, me and my neighbors. My neighbors are about half a mile away. I have 2 female cats, and they seem to get a lot of energy at night. And they go through the house just tearing things up. And I was relaxing on my bed, and I heard a bang of some kind. And I thought, oh gosh, what did they break? So I get up to walk from my bedroom, and right in front of me I have an enclosed patio. It is a brick wall about chest high, and then on the top of that is ornamental fencing with spikes on the top. And I looked, and my screen door had been torn off. So then I kind of wondered, I knew something had happened. And I knew somebody was trying to get into my home. Even though I had my TV on, I had lights in my house, I was going back and forth, making coffee, doing whatever it is, chasing the cats, whatever. I turned and I pulled my curtain, and there was this person crouching right next to my door on my patio. So I go, call the Border Patrol, explain it to them. They come, we open up the door. There was nobody there. So the Border Patrol agent, I have a regular barbecue pit with a cover on. He went and picked up the cover. Nobody. Picked up the lid. Nobody. And then I have 2 little cubby holes on the other side. They are no bigger than a box fan. And he went over to the one and he pulled a guy out of there that had crawled into that little hole there. And I told him, well, that's not the person that I saw. That's not the person I saw. This person he pulled out of that hole was Anglo, blonde, very fair skin, and he was not the one I saw. So they went looking, and I told them, I don't like to bring up my dog because she's my only thing. But anyway, Gretchen is my dog, and she usually points out where people are that are not supposed to be here. And they actually found the other person. But these 2 people had come in, and they had tossed bundles of dope wrapped in plastic. They had evidently tossed it over to get it into my patio, but it had got caught on the hooks at the top, the spikes on the top, and I had a row of dope all the way around my patio out there. So what is that fence doing for me? It's not doing anything for me. And it's the same with my neighbors that are We have about 5 or 6 of them. They're completely outside of that fence, and we have to experience these things. We have to be aware every day. If we go out, we have to close a door behind us. We just can't go and leave a door because we never know who's going to be in when we come back in here. So it's like a silent wall, basically. Well, like I say, I do have very good rapport with the Border Patrol. I'm sure that everybody around here does. They are doing a terrific job. But the things that the strain it must put on them, the same as with the cops, you know, it must be unbelievable. Unbelievable. Because sometimes you see people and your heart goes out to them, but you know you have to do a job, you know. So I would like to give the Border Patrol a thumbs up. I mean, 100%, really. And as I told you, I put a cooler out there every night and fill it up with water and sodas for anybody. I don't care who it is that come across. I can usually tell when a whole bunch of people have come across because it will be empty in the morning. Yeah.